There's a skill that is somewhat undervalued today, but it can be a moneymaker for you if you pay attention to the skill, you work on it, and you use it effectively. In fact, it's a skill that I believe has been instrumental for me in making more money maybe than anything else. And it's something that I've really worked at, and I think I've become pretty good at it, and it has served me well in my career since the moment I began to focus on it. That skill is writing. Now, it might be somewhat counterintuitive when it comes to selling, building a business, maybe not so much in marketing, but writing is a skill that can put money in your pocket. It's because a lot of people don't pay attention to their writing at all. And interestingly, we are in a society where there's heavy communication, heavy writing, lots of things to read, even though lots of people don't like to read. And it's very difficult today to get around the idea of having not being able to communicate. You have to be able to communicate today. But when you write well, when you can think through ideas, when you can present things in the proper order, when you can use the right words, when you can put things down on paper that jump off the page, that stir emotions, that make people want to act, people will buy from you. Now, of course, if you're a professional copywriter, you know this. You know that copywriters get paid a lot of money to put words on paper or words on screens, wherever they are, on billboards, in infomercials, wherever they're written. But being able to persuasively write something, write with clarity, write in colorful ways, to write in inventive, imaginative ways, to be creative is a skill that I've worked on for quite a while. Now, when you're writing a post on social media, think about what you're writing. Think about how to make it more compelling. Think about how to make the phrasing more interesting. Think about how to write in a way where you're not using the same words that others would use. Or think about a way that you can zero right in, get right to the point. Write in a way that a person can't wait to read the next sentence. In fact, they're led to the next sentence. You see, if you can write well, you can present well on video. You can think it through in your mind, and you can present well. Even though I don't use any notes or anything, this is all spontaneous. If you write well, you can write a compelling email and get someone's attention. If you write well, you can put together a proposal that'll make someone say, hey, I want to do that. If you write well, you can describe your company well. You can describe your offering well. You can leave a great voicemail for someone that makes them want to return your call. You can send a text message that isn't the same as everyone else. People will notice that it's different. Now, some people won't even notice that there's a technique involved, that there's something happening. But they will know that it feels differently. Usually when I post something on social media, I get often the phrase, well said. Or someone wrote the other day, nice wording. Makes someone want to share it because it stirred something in them. So if you pay attention to this idea of writing well, you can use that to build your business, to separate yourself, to distinguish yourself, and to make someone really want to do business with you. Now, on the contrary, if you write something that's poorly done, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't add up, that doesn't flow well, people will be uncomfortable when they read it. They'll see, wait a minute, this sentence doesn't make sense. This is a question, but there's no question mark. This is written in an awkward way. What do they really mean? They could mean this or they could mean that. You see, this is something that's very common today because a lot of people don't pay attention. Now, what's the key to writing well? There are several things. The first is reading. The more you read, the more you will become acquainted with language. The more you will understand language, how people are putting things together, how things are phrased. Oh, that's an interesting turn of a phrase. So reading is very important because it gets you engaged in language in a different way. It gets the mind thinking in a different way. The other piece of it is writing. It's taking time to actually write something in a different way, in a compelling way. Now, there's some other elements that recently I've been engaged in conversations with others about writing, and there are a couple of things you can do. Number one is knowing how to write a great headline, a great subject line, something that gets people's attention, makes them want to open the email, makes them want to watch the video, makes them want to hear more, understand more, that intrigues them. You know, those folks who write the headlines for the evening newspaper, they're like a special breed. They know how to get your attention. They know how to make you look at that paper and want to buy it and learn more about what's there. That's a skill. That's a special skill. The other thing is organizing your thoughts, presenting ideas in a way that are easy to read. Now, I always recommend to those that I'm coaching when we get to writing is to think in bullet points, to think about the points, bang, 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 so that they're very organized, so that you're not taking someone all around the world to hear a story that they don't need to hear, if they can understand it in very compelling ways. The third thing is trying to close something in a way, preferably the way you began. Starting something with an idea, taking them through the components they need to understand in terms of the idea, and then bringing them back to where you began. If you notice, great comedians do that. They'll introduce a character early on, they'll give you a punchline, and then later when you've forgotten, that character will reemerge, and it might even close the show. You know that character, you know the punchline, you know how that relates. You then receive it again in a surprising place. So these are just some of the quick things that you can do to improve your writing. My suggestion is read more, write more, think about the bullet points, the components there, and try to be creative, try to be inventive. And if you apply this skill when it comes to sales proposals, correspondence, text messages, all of the places where you have to write, people will remember you and they'll want to do business with you. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you liked it. Share it with someone in your network. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We have a lot of interesting conversations here, and I want you to be in on all of them. I'll see you next time.